Hello, everyone, and thanks for tuning in to the latest edition of Fran Coach's Franchising 101 webinar series. I am your host, Tim Parmeter, and we are excited for today's spotlight as it will very literally shine on a franchise model that is a premier home improvement brand. This franchise focuses on high-quality products with a low investment, low overhead, multiple revenue streams, and is considered the all-important essential business these days. But before we get to our guest, I want to let everybody know who we are. Fran Coach is a national search firm dedicated to working with individuals who are interested in owning a franchise. We are partnered with over 500 of the top franchisors in the country, spanning nearly 60 industries. We have two basic goals. First is to simply help educate clients to determine if franchise ownership is the right path. If it is, goal two is to help each client find the absolute best franchise for them to own. That is actually the easy part due to our in-depth client assessment process. And best of all, there is never, ever any fee for our service. So that is a bit about us, but now let's get to why we are all here. Let's talk about our franchise today. And our guest is the Director of Franchise Recruitment for Outdoor Lighting Perspectives, Ms. Erin Zide. Erin, how are you? Thanks for joining us.
Oh, good afternoon. Thank you for having me. Certainly appreciate it.
No, we're excited, and I'm a little I was a little surprised to see you put a picture of one of my homes on this slide. So my summer home, I've been ratted out with that. So, but thanks for talking to us, and we're excited to learn a little bit more about this crazy thing called Outdoor Lighting Perspectives. So. Give us a little scoop of what you guys are all about, and I know you've got a lot to talk to us about. So jump in. We've got a bunch of questions we'll fire at you, but just a little bit about Outdoor Living brands and Outdoor Lighting Perspectives.
Sure. Well, yes, I'm sorry to expose you and put your home on there. So yes, didn't want to embarrass you too badly to start the day here. But yes, Outdoor Lighting Perspectives is one of our 3 franchise models that we sell and support here at Outdoor Living Brands. So we are a multi-branded franchisor. Just as a quick overview, there are 3 brands we sell and support. We have Outdoor Lighting Perspectives, which we'll talk deeper about today. Our other sister brands are Architect Outdoor Living, which is design build of outdoor living spaces, really anything you can dream up in your backyard, with the exception of putting in a pool. And then Conservant Irrigation, which is very smart irrigation. Really, it's a whole new forefront with water conservation being the main goal, and a proactive approach versus a reactive approach to irrigation. So all 3 brands really thriving actually in this environment. So, you know, it's been something that's a bit humbling and a wonderful surprise at this time, but we are in the outdoor essential industry and a safe space for people. And we mainly work in the residential space as well. So it's a space people feel safe in, and they are very interested in improving, and that's where their main focus is. So something that is keeping our franchisees extremely busy. I will say, in working in Outdoor Lighting Perspectives, Tim, I do like to share that I started in Outdoor Lighting Perspectives myself 20 years ago as a franchisee myself. So I'm a little bit, you know, soft for this brand. I love it. I've had 2 franchises myself of this brand throughout the 20 years, and it's just a great model. So I love helping people, guide them through this process, and can really give them real background on what it's like to have the business, start the business, and run it day to day.
And the amazing thing about that 20-year run is you started when you were 9 years old, which is really fantastic. So congratulations on that. So
yes.
You talked about kind of the booming nature of this, and a kind of a weird positive byproduct of this ridiculous pandemic that we are all forced to deal with at this point is we're home a lot, and people are spending more time at home, more time together, and then that is getting them outside more, where they're realizing, hey, we need to step up our game if we're going to be out here this much and doing these type of things. Lighting is one that like people don't necessarily think of, but talk a little bit about how big of a deal that is, and some of the things that you guys are able to do.
For sure. I mean, that's true. I mean, 2 decades ago, when, you know, this franchise really was founded 21 years ago. So I got into it towards the very beginning, and, you know, lighting was an afterthought. People didn't really realize what outdoor lighting could do for a space, and they didn't realize the difference between professionally designed outdoor lighting and didn't even know it was available to them. You know, you fast forward about to 10 years ago, people started to understand the difference between a professionally designed lighting system and a, you know, store-bought, you know, somebody who went to the irrigation supply store or Home Depot or Lowe's, and nothing against do-it-yourselfers. I mean, it still shows they appreciate outdoor lighting and that it does something for their space, but people started to really see the value and the difference between a well-done, professionally installed system. And so much so that it's one of the top 3 design elements when any outdoor projects are done, whether it be an outdoor living room that's created by, you know, a hardscaper or a pool contractor, and even with custom home builders or semi-custom, it's now an option that they're willing to put into their auctions on the build. So, I mean, it is becoming a very important piece of the puzzle and kind of the cherry on top at the end that people want to make sure they have budgeted for it to be done right the first time. So very exciting. And, you know, LED has really helped put it on the map as well, and just give us so many more opportunities with what we can do with lighting today. I mean, there are just so many new applications we can do that we couldn't even do 5-6 years ago. So it's a very exciting industry to be a part of.
Absolutely, and there's a thing we're going to talk about later where you guys are able to really in the consultation show what a dramatic difference this makes, right? But talk a little, I guess, maybe the competition, right? There's the, you know, maybe the person that thinks they can do it themselves, but what are some of the differentiators your franchisees are going to really be able to provide versus anybody else out there?
Our franchisees really stand apart with, you know, the full value proposition. And that's such a good point, because, you know, people will always ask, you know, what sort of competition are we up against? Or, you know, who are your competitors in the market? And I can honestly say in 2 decades that people rarely have a true professional lighting competitor in their market. Yes, there are landscapers, there are irrigators, there are people that do lighting on the side as an add-on, and they add it to their services so they can try to get that extra money on the job while they're there, but they are not professionally trained in lighting design, getting the highest quality lighting products, able to install those, offering lifetime warranties that they can back up and service their clients within a couple business days. They are there to put it in, set it, and forget it, and they will never return a call. And yes, we are a high-end luxury item, but that is the type of client that we are going after. Our client is hands-off. You know, they want things taken care of for them, and they want the best of service. So about 25% of our franchisees' revenue, Tim, comes from their existing client base, because we build phenomenal relationships with our clients, and that just exudes from the type of service that we offer.
Well, and you talk about that from a residential standpoint, but that's the bulk of it, but it's not all of that, right? So again, you've got some other revenue streams for your owners as well, right?
So true. I mean, you know, it all started, you know, residential was it. And it has evolved, you know, over the last 2 decades greatly. So residential will always be the bread and butter. And it's great because that's almost an immediate gratification from the time you meet with the prospect to making them a client of yours to getting that job installed, which you always want to keep those jobs turning. So that's why it's the bread and butter, and it's great. But you also have a lot of opportunity with your same clients and additional clients when it comes to holiday lighting, which can be used in residential venues or also, municipalities, hospitality, commercial. There are many opportunities to do custom holiday design, installation, takedown, and storage. So holiday lighting is a huge marketplace as well. And there's more work than anyone knows what to do with that's available. So nobody is hurting for holiday work. It really comes down to how much time and staff does the franchisee have to put those lights up in that small window, because residential is still very busy in the fourth quarter. So that's a great problem to have. And lastly, our newest component is, again, LED has really brought this up to the forefront and given us great opportunities in commercial spaces. And we focus on commercial spaces that are 1 to 4 stories in height. And that could be, golf clubs, that could be, residence inns, Marriott's. What's featured here is a Ritz-Carlton in Naples, Florida. We actually lit both Ritz-Carltons with low voltage LED lighting. People are astounded with what we can do with low voltage. And those property managers and owners, they love the energy savings and the maintenance savings costs they get by switching over to us with low voltage.
That's incredible. The holiday lighting is something you touched on. I don't think people realize how much business there is, and that continues to grow. There's literally, we talk about all these different revenue streams that you guys have. There's literally a franchise, one of our 500 partners, that's the only thing that they do, believe it or not, right? And which is kind of cool. So if I want my house to look like Clark Griswold's from Vacation, right? Then that's, I don't have to be climbing up there. I can hire you guys to come do that, which is awesome. So and then you've got the maintenance contracts as well, right? And keeping you forefront of everyone's mind. And I know there's a lot of, I want to talk about that kind of differentiator with the demonstrations. Makes a huge difference in the neighborhood where you kind of almost shame everyone else on your block when you have things properly lit, right?
Well, yes. Unintentionally shame, but it kind of naturally happens, right? You don't want to be the ugly duckling on the neighborhood. And I think that's, I use that verbiage because so many people have said that to me after we've lit their neighbors' homes. They feel like they had to call. It's great because lighting is so visual. You can talk to somebody all day long about what you can do for them. But when you talk to them in the day, building that trust, building that foundation is so important, and to understand their needs. But to go back in the evening with a wireless demo kit, with our true fixtures on there, but it's a beautiful demo kit that takes minutes to set up a demonstration like shown here on the screen. And you could move lights around. You could show them what their home would look like lit up. It's night and day for them to be able to see this. And, we have nationwide, we run over a 70% closing ratio. And this is a big part of that, because once people see this, it's very hard for them to see the lights turn back off again. So the other big benefit you have to this is somebody might have only had their mind set on uplighting their home. That's all they wanted. But when you bring up maybe some path lighting at their front entry walk, they might be thinking path lights from Home Depot, where you're thinking beautiful hand spun copper or, beautiful metal accent, high end, expensive fixtures that are going to offer a little bit of down lighting, and you only need a couple. And when they see that, they're immediately sold because now they really understand understand the visual aspect and they see the quality. So there's a lot of upselling that happens when people actually get to see the product, because then they understand it.
It's awesome to see this picture. And I think we had talked about this. The home I used to live in the Phoenix area was not too far from I think your owner in the Phoenix area, and the neighborhood looked like this picture, right? There was the house with the outdoor lighting perspective truck, all lit up beautiful like the bottom one, and then the rest of the neighborhood, most of the rest of the neighborhood looked like that, right? And it was I mean, I know you use the term night and day, but it was just unbelievable, the difference and how much better the house looked and all of those things. It was fantastic. So super cool that is a huge differentiator for your owners. Talk a little bit about that owner. What are some things that you look for in an owner?
I love that. This is a great question, because I mean, my gosh, I mean, I speak from experience, and I can tell you that 20 years ago, I would have never said I really see myself owning an outdoor lighting company years from now. So, I came from the hospitality industry. We have people, all throughout our franchise system that come from, service industries. They come from sales. They come from financial. They come from insurance. We actually only have ever had one gentleman that had landscape companies as well. And he said, we do lighting, but we don't do it well. And that's why I'm here. And I want to also license outdoor lighting perspective so we can take lighting to the next level with my landscape clients. So people a lot of times think that they need to understand the trade, or they need to really know lighting coming into this business. But that's where we're really good, because we are great educators, we are great trainers, and we are very good at getting people well versed in lighting. We are looking for people that are strong networkers, have a desire to grow a business. They love interacting with, clientele. They're good at working with their technicians, so they're good communicators with them as well. And it doesn't take a lot of technicians to put in a lot of lights. So, that's a big appeal to people as well. You don't need a showroom. Your showroom isn't your client's space. So this can be a home-based business, maybe a very small storage unit where you house your product. And then you can start with one van and one technician and start building your way up from there. And you could be doing a pretty sizable revenue with one van and two technicians, and then you start growing the business. So it doesn't take a lot of people to have a lot of lights installed every single day. And the franchisees just have to be willing to grow that business, get out and about, go to, networking meetings, get to know landscape architects, builders. But when it comes to those residential homeowners, Tim, they aren't going to be cold calling on residential homeowners. We are going to help them implement phenomenal marketing plans to where they're going to be getting those phone calls. They're going to be up on pay-per-click. They're going to be up on searches. They're going to be putting up direct mail pieces in their marketplace. But we do want them out networking with others in the industry that can become feeders for their business.
And which is a great distinction, because sometimes I think people with service industries feel like they're going to be the one out there doing the work. You're not looking for the owners out there installing lights all day long. They've got their technicians for that. They're really designed to be kind of a people person connecting in the community, correct?
Yes, and we are happy to, have people that come on board, go through new franchisee training. We invite them to if you're hiring a technician, bring them to training. We're happy to train the technicians as well. And we have outstanding materials, web modules, certified outdoor lighting technician training programs that those techs can also be doing in their market that are web modules. So we have many different training tools that they're able to use to help empower them and set the standard in their marketplace.
So you've got a very low labor model, low overhead, right? We don't need an office, maybe a storage place. We've got some equipment and a vehicle to start with. So from that standpoint, investment-wise, this is an incredibly easy thing to get started. We're looking at all in for what, the first 3-6 months, 125 or so thousand, right?
Yes, exactly. So for the first, all in, for the first 3 to 6 months, that's exactly what you're looking at. Your biggest expenses are going to be your franchise fee and your marketing expense. And then our franchisees typically lease the technician's van. You could finance it, but if you lease it, it breaks up the payments a bit easier. So that's exactly where you're going to fall.
Gotcha. And so then like this all sounds fantastic, right? So, but it all gets back to, okay, well, what's in it for me, Aaron? Can I make any money doing this? What are those unit economics look like?
Yes, and that is why I have a lot of franchisees that have been in this business a very long time with us. The gross profit margins, as you'll see here, are quite appealing. And if you go, shopping for different franchise models, it's sometimes hard to find gross profit margins as high as 57%. I had somebody just ask me if that was a mistake recently, and I kind of chuckled. But it is, and there's 2 reasons for that, right? Your cost of goods is relatively very low for what we do because we are the largest at what we do in the country. So we are able to buy down the pricing through our supply chain. So we get the best products at a much more reasonable rate. The labor is also a big advantage because we specialize in low voltage. You do not need electricians. You shouldn't have electricians doing this type of work. And so you have, a couple technicians putting in a lot of work for you every day. Your average price per project is about $3,600, $3,700. That's a one-day job with 1 to 2 technicians once they're fully trained and up and running. And you typically still have time to go do an add-on, go do service, go do annual maintenance after that. So you could be doing those, 5 days a week with your technicians with 1 van. So very, very low overhead. Average retail price per fixture, we try to make it simple when people are pricing to clients so they feel like the pricing is very fair, and fair to everybody. So it does depend on the market. We help franchisees set it, of course, based on where they live. Pricing in the Northeast or down in Naples is going to be more expensive than pricing in Mississippi. But $253 was the average retail price per fixture last year based on our national benchmarking survey. And then it shows the average annual sales volume was just over 570,000 for locations. And again, that was with 14 new locations last year. So 14 of them were just getting started. So, that can drive that number down a little bit. So, but all because we have great growth going on. So very exciting.
Which even with all of those new ones, bringing that down a little bit, that's for that average sales volume for such a low investment with such high profit margin. You're right. Just it doesn't come up very often, right? And the one thing that I guess I just kind of want to let people know is you may not feel comfortable saying this, but I will. The culture, the people involved with outdoor lighting perspectives, but really outdoor living brands are just absolute top notch. And every one of our clients that have gone through the process with any of your brands have just been blown away by the people, the culture, the infrastructure, the support. You kind of make it to a situation where people would have to try really, really hard not to be hugely successful. And that's though that should be the way everywhere, it's not. And so I know from our perspective, I always love, I'm very confident to have people take a look at any of the brands because I know they're going to be very, very well taken care of. So we always appreciate that. So I want to make sure I pointed that out for you. And then lastly, is there anything maybe we're missing, we haven't talked about, that you would like people to know about Outdoor Lighting Perspectives?
Wow. Well, thank you. That's so nice of you to say. And, we feel fortunate. I'll just say, our team is very attached to the franchisees' success. They care about it like it's their own. A lot of our team members, actually, quite a few, have been franchisees themselves. Or they've had, a lot of other experience having franchise brands. But funny enough, in our system, many have already been internal within our brands. So we really understand what it's like to be out there every single day. And so we are passionate. We love it. And, we feel fortunate for everybody at this time in place where we all are right now, that our franchisees are able to thrive, which we feel very fortunate, and we don't take that for granted. We actually just in June just billed the highest sales numbers we've posted for Outdoor Lighting Perspectives for a month in 13 years.
Wow.
And actually, it's that way for all three of our brands. They all just posted record numbers. So we're very fortunate that we're in the outdoor space. And again, do not take it for granted, but we feel like it's a safe space for people with their investments, and we can help support them. We can get them trained in a very new world for them that, is outdoor living, and probably something they haven't been trained in before, but that's what we've always done. And that's what we're really good at. And we love helping people take that leap. And like what you have posted up here on this screen right now, that's why we win awards like the World Class Franchise Award. And that ranking is actually designated because our franchisees report card on us. This is all about a third party coming in and rating us. Like, how is your franchisor? What type of work do they do for you? Are you competitive in your space? How is their support? How is their training? So you have to get very positive marks to achieve this. And, we carry that award in all of our brands. And, we love seeing that report card every year because we look at it as a way to make sure that we can always do any improvements to make our system better for everybody as well.
That's awesome. Fantastic. And congratulations on that, because that's not an easy thing to come by in this industry. So that is fantastic. Erin, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. Appreciate having you.
It is a pleasure. Thank you so much for having me, and always appreciate what you do.
Thanks so much. And we thank everybody else for joining us today and getting educated on outdoor lighting perspectives. And hopefully this will help enlighten those interested in franchise ownership to some of the amazing possibilities that are out there. If you'd like to learn more about becoming a franchise owner for OLP or any of the 500 brands we are partnered with, then let's schedule a brief introductory call. There's all the contact info to track us down on social media as well. There's never any fee for our service, so we encourage you to take that first step today to help create your better tomorrow. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Please stay safe, and we look forward to connecting with you soon. Have a great day.